and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello, this is Linda Carbonell from Walking Through Life TV show. Today we have a returning guest, Catherine Samuelson. Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
And we're going to have a meditation today and give you more information on Catherine's book. So, yeah, maybe we want to do that at the beginning, how people can find your book and find out more information about you.
It's called Opening the Heart, Meditations on How to Be, and this is the cover, and then there's a sample there. And it's meditations, you can do one or both, it's all up to you. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble online. It's available through my website, catherinesamuelson.com, which is KATHRYNSAMUELSON, and that's how you can find it. There's also an ebook version. So, and I think, you know, flipping to a particular image and having it on your iPad would work really well.
So you're going to kind of walk us through what meditation looks like or how you do it.
There's any number of traditions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's contemplation in the Christian tradition, there's Zen Buddhist meditation, there's lots of meditations, but you can simply sit in a chair and breathe with your eyes closed or your eyes focusing on something. Literally, you know, breathing in and out, going in, out, in, out. You know, as your mind wanders, you come back to whatever your mantra is or what you're contemplating. It could be a Bible verse. It could be, if you're Muslim, it could be from the Quran. You know, there's a continuum as far as I'm concerned. It's not, it has to be a certain way. So as far as I'm concerned, you don't need to sit on the floor in lotus position.
But obviously there's some helpful things that you can do to get into position for relaxation. I think we had talked a little bit about music along with the
something
imaging.
that's not distracting.
Yeah.
You know, and not, you know, just at sort of a lowish level so that you're
Volume down.
volume down so that it's assisting you rather than, you know, and there's a book I like called Meditation for the Love of It, and the author's name is Sally Kempton, and she says everybody has a different gateway, which I like that a lot. So I have a client, it's like, you're a singer, so your gateway maybe is music. And someone else, it could be having a poster of a yantra, which is a specific image in Hindu practice. It could be a picture of Jesus, something that you focus on to help you kind of keep that monkey, you know, what people call the monkey mind. It's going chatter, 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 and kind of swirling around. And so the breathing, and if you want the music, and focusing on a mantra, a saying. It could be the Lord's Prayer. It could be what they call the Jesus Prayer. Do you know what that is?
Yes.
It could be the Jesus Prayer. It could be a Hindu phrase, you know, Om Mani Padme Hum. But whatever you do, you know, sitting comfortably but upright. I heard a Buddhist monk say, "Oh no, just sit in a chair and be comfortable." So if you're not really into sitting on the floor cross-legged,
Right.
it's okay. Some people will maybe do meditation lying down. The trick is to not fall asleep.
Well, you know, actually, there's both ways. I use meditation both ways. One, to be able to calm myself down when I get stressed or whatever, because with a mental illness, that's important. And a lot of us don't know the value of meditation, of being able to, you know, settle your nerves and calm you down. And the other thing I use it for every night is to sleep.
Right, so there is a time.
If you have sleep problems,
you can meditate for it.
Right.
But if you're doing meditation for awareness.
Yeah, or something that you're wanting to meditate on, absolutely.
Although that book, Sally Kempton, she talked about a student of hers who, he kept falling asleep in meditation, you know, sitting up meditation.
Yeah.
And so he was determined that he was going to stay awake. So he drank all this coffee so he'd be caffeinated, and he goes into meditation and he sees this woman in a long blue gown sweeping, just sweeping. And she turns around and she says, "Why are you awake? I do my best work when you're asleep." So after that, he just, whatever the process was, and he just, you know, let himself fall asleep till he no longer needed to. So I suppose I shouldn't have said you have to stay awake. But
You think that for me, the meditation, it works for me in my creativity, like going to the special places that I've created in my mind helps me to be able to write and helps me to be able to draw.
and that's could be some people
But
would
also
consider
helps
that
me to
form of
figure
meditation.
out problems that,
There's an author by the name of Pico Iyer, Picoiyer, I think it is. He's written a book about the Dalai Lama. He's written travel writing, and he goes to a Benedictine monastery every year. All this stuff, and he does not meditate. His wife says that his meditation is his writing. He spends like 5 hours a day in his writing space, whatever that is for him.
Another thing that for me too is, I would say a third meditation for me is I've created a nice garden outside my house, and every morning when I go out to water the garden, before I do, I have a chair right in front of my chair, my tree, so I can sit there, and it's just kind of like a nature meditation type thing, and I love that. And somebody with mental illness, I really benefit from meditation, whether it's relaxation meditation or trying to figure out a problem.
If you've got a little anxiety, it can be just a brief stopping and breathing and really paying attention to your breath and being in that moment so that you don't ramp up.
They teach that to you in a program called Dialectical Behavior Therapy. That's one of the...
What is that again?
Dialectical Behavior Therapy.
Okay.
It's called DBT. But one of the other things besides this, you always start off with a meditation, but also it teaches you to be mindful, especially when you can start feeling those
feelings.
Yeah, feelings.
I suffered depression for a number of years, and it was really to mask some other things. And see, you can overcome stuff.
Yeah.
And if I start to feel that sadness, I've learned that to be present with it, name it, so that I'm not hiding it and masking it.
I learned to create something, to not cover it up, but to leave it there so that I could go to what I call my special place, which I've created in my head, which is just wonderful. I can't describe it to anybody because I've just built on it, built on it, built on it.
And you shouldn't have to. It's your special place.
Right. And I think the difference between DBT and meditation and what you do, there's only one difference, which is a lot of us are not able to learn the same way that most people are, like from instruction or whatever, so we have to be taught in different ways, and I think that's what dialectical behavior is. It teaches you how to cope with people maybe that are angry at you, or how to talk to people. And so in doing that and learning how to do this type of meditation it's very valuable, and it was very valuable for me, and it can be for so many people. So if they go out and get the book, now that they've gone through the process and know what it is, listening to the Walking Through Life show that you're doing today, I would highly recommend it to anybody, whether they just have concentration problems, or they need a little help with anxiety.
I'm working on some workshops. One is finding the divine spark within.
Yeah.
So there's any number of reasons to do meditation, but the Western mind, they're studying it, and they're finding all these actual physical benefits for meditating.
Right, and that's the first time I ever did it was when I was in holistic hospital. It's where I was taught how to use the benefit of the body, mind, and spirit. And I think from going through that I was quite the exception to be able to find that, but it was meant for me to find it,
Now, opening the heart is based on pairs of meditations, but that doesn't mean you have to contemplate both of them at once, or even use one and then work on the next one. You can work on it in any order you want, and in fact, there are some exercises in the back.
Yep. And that would be good, though, to talk about how we go into the meditation, and maybe what we could do, like one of the examples of the exercises, right. Maybe people can learn how to do that.
So if, people who are watching, if you just want to sit comfortably, feet on the floor, arms on your arms on the arms of a chair or in your lap, and you just, using opening the heart, you would focus on the image. And number one, the first one, is the water lily image, and it says, breathe deeply, breathe slowly. You can breathe through anything.
Yep.
And what you would do is you would Go into the meditation, and you can firmly fix it in your mind, the image and the words, or you can use it, like we talked about, with the image of Jesus or the yantra or whatever, and focus on it, and you start to breathe deeply. And I know that if you're not new to, if you are new to yoga or meditation, the idea of breathing into a particular place in your body could seem a little odd. But it can work because it's the mind. The mind is very powerful.
So if you're breathing in...
If you're breathing in, then you visualize the water lily in the image, and you're breathing in and using that image to go into your heart center. Because the heart chakra is here, your physical heart is here. Some of us believe that your spiritual heart is here as well. So it's a very powerful center. And you breathe in, so...
Take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, but you don't struggle with it. And in your mind, you can see the image in the phrase, and you would go over it. Breathe deeply, breathe slowly. You can breathe through anything. Breathe deeply, slowly. You can breathe through anything. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And you would let words come to you, you would let images come to you, because the information that you can receive can come in different ways for people. Or it might just be that you'll become deeply calm. So breathe deeply, breathe slowly, breathe. You can breathe through anything. And think of that water lily. See the water lily. Breathe in and open that heart center. Essentially, inhale the image, inhale the words. So they're sitting in your heart center. And you see that water lily open fully. And the words keep coming through your mind. Breathe deeply. Breathe slowly. You can breathe through anything. And you can do this for a few minutes. You can do it for half an hour. Did you happen to receive anything during that?
I certainly did. It was really, it was neat because, you know, breathing in the image, once I once I got the image here, it kind of like flowed through water, and it was moving through like a lake or whatever, just going through it. And my thought came right through it, was floating and flowing and being able to keep moving and moving and moving and moving, but gently moving. So that's where I got it. That's what I got from it. It was just so relaxing. It's kind of like going back into the water and, you know, just letting things go. And
right, and sometimes that image of the water can move, interestingly, things out.
You feel it move with it, you
but
know?
But it can take that anxiety, it can take the sludge, if you want to call it, out. As I said, I'm working on creating some workshops, and one of those I'm working on is the Divine Spark. And I try to do any number of the things, like most of the exercises came out of something I happened to be in meditation or I'd done myself. But I'm creating the one called Divine Spark, finding the Divine Spark within. And so I was working on it, and it was a water lily image that I was using, and I ended up with, it's like literally covered in water lilies, you know, elbows and top of my head, and you know, just everywhere, every like point in my body had a water lily on it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it kind of felt to me like I was with it in the water. I guess you would say, right beside me, right there with me in the water. And floating down the stream, it was kind of like, you know, all this stuff that I was worried about or stressed about or whatever, that's over there. But now I'm moving down the stream with a water lily, so it's just there, but I'm down here, so I don't need to worry about what's there.
You know, it's leaving the worry behind, not
Exactly.
not the situation or the things. It's like I kind of needed to. I was dealing with a tech support at my web host today, and there's a situation that I unfortunately created a couple years ago with my website, and it's like, okay. But there's a solution for it in the interim to the ultimate, you know, getting to the ultimate solution. It has to do with a silly QR code on the back of the book. And, you know, it's, instead of having it go to the domain name, I had it go to a subpage, and well.
That's another thing I don't think you said in the beginning, too, is they can find you on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and of course the website, CatherineSamuelson.com. And on Facebook, I've been posting, not every day, but certainly maybe every other day, a message from my angels and guides. That's for
nice.
everybody.
Yeah.
But the one today certainly had to do with me, I think, because it talked about life has its ups and downs, life has its frustrations and annoyances.
Yeah.
But
you have to, you know,
but underneath, it's a dance, a swirl.
Right.
You know.
And sometimes you have to experience those things to learn whatever you're supposed to learn from them.
Right.
You know, that's what the way I like to think of it, is a learning process. You know,
Right.
and you don't know until you try. And so if you try and it's just not for you, then.
But creating this book, working with meditation, 20 years ago, I would have been ranting and raging and, you know, swearing up and down. And today I was like, okay. But I pulled myself. I was able, because I didn't go to that point. And I give a lot of credit to working with opening the heart.
Yeah, because I mean, you must have had your angel guides while you were where you
Oh
were.
yeah, they came through
Yeah.
there.
So let's talk a little bit about, so we talked about the meditation. What are some of the exercises that people can do after they do the meditation?
Well, you can do the meditations. One exercise is just to pick one. You know, open the book, pick it. You know, say right or left, and that you meditate on that one. One of the exercises calls for you to choose a number from 1 through 56, because there are 56 images. Then you meditate with that one. There is one, and this came out of something that happened to be in meditation, where you pick a meditation image, and then you deep breathe and you go into your heart using that meditation image as a gateway, and ask your heart what lives in it. And then you can draw it. So there's a couple that specifically talk about drawing. Another one is you go to one of the specific, there's a pair about quantum universe and Newtonian universe, and I think those, I'd have to look at you'd think I'd know all the numbers, wouldn't you? No. So you can use the image to connect with yourself, connect with your heart, and then connect with the energy of the universe. And draw it, whatever you see. It would come through differently for people. There's one where you could choose one and start doing stream of consciousness writing. Starting the meditation and then immediately starting. There's a meditation called I Am of Value, where you go to the meditation image which says, you are the beloved. Mm-hmm. And you use the you are the beloved to go into your heart, do the meditation, and when you're in meditation, you ask your heart, how am I of value? And then you list all the things that you hear. And you can do it while you're meditating, you can do it afterwards if you feel that you can remember all, and it's quite amazing that what you're told is like, really? Me?
Yeah. Yeah,
so what's your experience with working with the exercises?
Well, I think I took it more slowly, and I cut it down to, to really study the exercise before I would do it. After meditation, go open it up to whatever the exercise was, and really make an effort to understand because that's the problems with wording sometimes, understanding what the word is. Once I do that, then I go back and do the meditation. And then I can go to the exercise and actually do it. And my favorite exercise in there is that you put the music on and you dance. You let your body dance. You
right, because one of the meditations is dance your body.
And I don't know why that's my favorite. But
See,
it is.
There's all forms of meditation.
I know, but that's my favorite.
Well, I
don't know
really
if-
love the image too.
Yeah,
It's really beautiful. It's this like blood orange
yeah.
rose. It's
Speaking of that, in the mind of you, I planted 6 different rose gardens this year.
nice.
I know, see? We're talking about opening the heart, and for me it represents types of roses and different types of flowers, but my favorite happens to be the different roses, not just one, but all different. So, you know, and it's so cool if you're speaking about opening your heart, when you see a rose that actually comes from a bud and a few days later it starts to open, and when it gets fully open, how beautiful
Well,
it
I mean, have
is.
you ever seen the water lily bud? It's
Exa-
like that,
Yeah,
and then it
all of a
goes.
sudden it opens, right. Yep. Yep, tulips do the same thing, you know, they close
Mhm.
up at night, actually. They close up, and that's a sign of us when we do that when we sleep. And then in the morning when you wake, just like the tulip, you know, we open up, you know, and they close back up at night or sleep. It's just the connection between the flowers and those thoughts. I never knew I had that connection until actually I started growing flowers. And for me, it's another one. When I go out in the morning, I meditate with my flowers or whatever. I sing to them because nobody else will listen to me sing. My flowers will. They love it. They love to be sung to. So I
I'm
got to
sure
make
they
sure it's
do.
like 4 o'clock in the morning when nobody's out.
Well, the thing is, quantum physics tells us that everything has a vibration, a resonance.
Yeah.
You know, a frequency, harmony, whatever the proper word is, you know. So I think maybe Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician, was right, that there is a music of the spheres, because everything, we cannot hear it, but everything's vibrating and making, you know, have you ever heard some music and it just felt so good, and then you had other music and you went,
Yes. Mhm.
you know, it's like there's something about the beat, about like atonal music just drives me nuts.
What's atonal music?
The music that we're used to is called tonal. And atonal, it's a different notation system. And I'm not sure I could give you a proper definition of it, but it's, to me, it's like, you know, fingernails on a,
Yeah.
yeah, you know.
I've heard music like that, or you know, having people that live near you that may have loud bumping music, and that used to bother me so much. But you know, I found a solution to that, because you know, when I'm laying down before I go to bed and I hear the music or whatever, and I'm trying to listen to my meditation music, I actually created something different with it, rather than to get irritated and everything else, because you often hear the bass or the drum or whatever.
Thum, thum,
So my
thum.
meditation changed from just the relaxing scene that I'm used to seeing when I go to bed to here comes a parade for Linda. Boom, 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 boom. There's a parade for Linda. Boom, 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 hooray! Boom, 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 hooray! You know. So then I go on for that. Then pretty quick you're drifting because you're dreaming about this parade, you know, or music, you know, of some kind, you know. There's a concert going on that you really want to be a part of or whatever. So it's funny because, you know, I never thought I could be able to do that because it was so irritating for me. Just change the whole mind focus on what I was hearing.
Right. Either that or earplugs.
Yeah. Well, I think I'd rather just kind of change the the thoughts of it, I guess.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't happen every night.
No, 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 no. And it's not even in my building. That's the funny thing. It's not in my building. It's actually a building like 2 houses down from me, and you can just hear it like really loud. It's like a boom, 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 boom. So then if you associate that with you know, you think about
You're
some-
kinder than me. I probably would be calling the police.
Well, you know, when you live on South Main in an apartment complex, it's kind of hard to just, you know, it is. And sometimes you have to deal with things that you really don't want to deal with.
Either that or I would try first going and knocking on the door and saying, could you turn it down after 10 o'clock?
Yeah. Well,
But I'm glad you're able to deal with it.
Well, it took me a long time. I mean, it took me a long time because I used to get so mad and so frustrated about it. And it's not like it's right in my building. But still, you know, it's kind of like a train going by your house. You know how...
The train you can tolerate because
But
you know
you
it's,
can- right,
because
you
you know
can
it's
get
going to
used-
end.
Right, and not only that, but you can get used to it. So
Right.
that's what I had to do, is train my brain to get used to that, accept it, and then find another way to use it.
Right, because otherwise you're laying there going, when is this going to stop?
Yeah, and you can get really frustrated. I remember how it used to frustrate me so much that I couldn't sleep at all. And so I had some bad mind problems going on, ended up in the hospital because I let that get to me, those sounds get to me. So, I just changed it, totally changed the mindset.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's part of my recovery. I'm very proud of that. And I think through doing things like this with your book, that maybe this is going to help other people be able to find their solution,
Right.
I guess.
And again, it could be used for a whole range of things. Of if you want a new tool for your meditation practice, if you have a regular one, or if you need to deal with anxiety. So it's not
Anxiety, it's a great one for anxiety.
It's not, to me, it's not limited to any one group of people.
And what's great about the book, too, I think, too, for myself, too, is it's not like going to the doctor. It's not like somebody telling you what to do. It's a book where you get what you get out of it and what you want out of it, rather than to say, this is what you have to do, this is what you have to do.
And basically, the how to use this book is very short. It's is
it somewhere you're not going to be able to find it?
it just like, again, it's just, that's the how to use this book. Sometimes you get, if you buy a tarot set or you buy, some other kind of book and it's got like 20 pages.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, this is basically, you figure out how you want to use it and you use it that way.
That's what I mean. It's very, you will experience it in your way, and with this book you're able to create that, whatever it is that you're wanting to get out of it. And, it's so simple to use, I think. And you don't have to get it all in once, flip through, look at the pictures, look at the sayings.
Right.
Well, that one speaks to me, like I remember doing that and opening up, like I said. The one about, what was it? It was the first one that I saw. I can't remember now, far away or far something. It's in there. Yeah, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. Or
No,
is it the new, wait a minute, I think it was the one with the yellow rose, and it's not opening your heart, but it's, what is it? It's right on my tongue. Oh, yourself. Wait a minute, I can't think of it now.
Well,
It says yourself, be true to yourself, or something like that.
Well, there's one about you're perfect in the eyes of the universe at this
Yeah,
moment. You're perfect who you are.
Yeah, and then, but there's one that has, let's see if I can find it. Let me see it.
But I wanted to let people.
It's very simple.
What I wanted to let people know is if you flip it open to whatever image you want to work with, if you don't want to be distracted by the other one,
what you want
just
and
put
what you need.
you just put a piece of paper over the one you're not working with.
Yeah, because they're so simple, you get what you need. Where'd to go now? Well, I just said it. You get what you want what you need.
One is what you need, one is the other.
And this is a good one, too, for people that like music, too. Life is a song, sing it. Life is a school, learn from it. So, I like that. That's the one. Be open, but boundaries, and that's pretty.
It's a chicory. So the plant.
There, dance your body through life. Now, doesn't that sound kind of like walking through life? Dance your body through life instead of walking through life.
My book designer and I.
That is a yellow rose. See, I told you it was the one with the yellow rose. Well, there's a lot of yellow roses.
My book designer and I failed to put in what the plants are. So they're water lilies, roses, chicory, which is the blue flower, loosestrife, and honeysuckle berries.
What is that one? I know which one I'm looking for.
The what you want?
Yeah, I saw that one, but it was another one.
You would think I would have the numbers of meditation images memorized. No. I will admit to that issue.
Go slowly, take your time. That's a good one.
I really like the Live in Your Blood and Bones. That's a beautiful rose. That's the one that's sort of the blood red, orange color.
Yeah, I never got this one though. The heart is a transmitter and the heart is a receptor. I can see where the heart is the receptor receiving, but a transmitter, I think I had questions about that because how,
Well, what that means to me, and it can mean different things. Physically, actually, they've done research, and your heart does receive and send out like electromagnetic field. But also, if you think about, that's, you know, probably where you really truly receive love and where you can send out love from, or, you know, whatever emotions you want to send out.
so that people can find you.
Right, or just be, you could decide you're going to be a beacon of light, and that's where you could send the light out from your heart. You can receive light in your heart. But it's interesting, there's some research now that actually physically your heart sends and receives.
Yeah. You know, for years I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that anybody could see what was in our hearts. Or, you know, like they could truly see the truly you. But people will see what you give them, obviously. You know, if you're not given the message of being open, then, you know, they kind, for me it was kind of like they didn't understand and they didn't want to because they didn't know. They didn't know me. They didn't know, you know, that I was a funny person or whatever because I never showed it. So I think that's another example
right.
too.
So what you send out.
Right, exactly. So if you're like a stone like this, then people aren't going to see what's in here, you know. So it's also about, that's what I would say it would be like. I mean, you know, like first impressions or whatever, you know, because I've had a lot of people that say, you know, I don't want to make a bad first impression or whatever. But, you know, I think coming forward and being true self, that's what you want.
Yeah, and if
You want people to see
and
that.
I swear I read this somewhere that the ancient Egyptians, the old, believed that the mind and wisdom was in the heart. Not in the brain, but in the heart.
Right, yeah.
So it's, opening your heart's pretty fluid. And use it the way you want to use it.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say, is use it the way you want to use it because you can, because obviously it's yours. And you don't know what is in your heart unless you're willing to explore it or look for it or search it out, because, you know, often people that don't want to do that have a really hard time with change.
And maybe that one of the ones that would be good to do is the what lives in your heart exercise.
Yeah.
Because it's visual and you draw it. And that came out of a meditation where I saw, you know, the heart shape, not the heart, you know, our physical heart shape, but the one we use for Valentine's and stuff, had a door open in it, and inside was a field of wildflowers. So, you know, abundance and beauty can be in your heart. So that might be a place to start, because you're not having to verbalize it, you're just having to look at it and draw it.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I would encourage anybody to maybe do their meditations from the book, or if you have the book, to do that with. And, you know, shoot me an email, shoot Catherine an email. We'd love to have you come on the show and talk about your experience like I have.
Sure.
And I think that would be a great opportunity. If you had any questions for Catherine or me, I'm not an expert, but I think
But you've used the book. So
yes, and not only that, but I also think I'm an expert at some things. I know some stuff anyway. But it'd be interesting to get your feedback and find out what you think about this whole subject of this book and Catherine, and what we sit here and talk about whenever Catherine does a show with us. It's interesting subject, very interesting. So I encourage you to get a hold of us. And the way that you get to be a part of Walking Through Life is simply by sending me an email at walklife@comcast.net. You can also call me at 802-295-0997. That's how you can get a hold of me. Now let Catherine tell you how you can get a hold of her, and also, again, about how to get a hold of her book.
Okay, the book's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can get it through my website, which is catherinesamuelson.com. You can contact me at 781-799-7332. I did keep my cell phone number the same when I moved up here. Or klsamuelson@yahoo.com. But please, you know, on the cell phone, leave a message that you're interested in possibly having a reading or life coaching or more information about the book, because unfortunately I might get cranky and not, call you back if you don't tell me what it's about. Or, subject line in the email as well, because, sometimes spam sends weird, emails with nothing in it. And
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I don't get on there on my computer too much because of that, but I usually check my email anyway. Yeah.
right. But should you mention that you're going to be taking a hiatus till fall, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that's right. So in case you're looking for Catherine shows, we are going to show some repeats of her previous shows, but there's going to be a break for Walking Through Life. As a matter of fact, this is going to be the last one until, I believe video camp goes until the end of August, I believe. And then after that, I'll be back. Doesn't mean you won't see any Walking Through Life shows between those times, because obviously they'll be playing some shows that maybe you've missed at one time and you get to see it for the first time. So, and just know that I'm always there within a phone call. You can call me with anything you want to call me about. I'll talk to you on email. I'll miss doing the show in those periods of time, but I will be back. And if you have an idea for a show, or if you want to talk to me and sit down and talk to me about an idea, you have a story, if you have something, we could work on that through the summer and maybe help you be more comfortable at coming in front of the camera, because I know that's a scary thing for people.
I can remember one of the first shows I was on, it was like,
Yeah,
but
it's scary.
You just start talking to Linda, she's great, it's easy, you just start talking and suddenly the camera's sort of not there.
Exactly. And I look at myself as being somebody that's easy to talk to, but if you have a desire, take that first step and make that call, and I'll help you be more comfortable, because we want to hear from you, obviously. So anyway, this is Linda Carbonell, and I am saying goodbye for Walking Through Life just until the end of August, and then we're going to bring Catherine back too. So Catherine, thank you so much again for doing this show.
Well, thank you for having me.
And we look forward to doing the next one with you too. Okay, so I'm going to say toodles instead of goodbye for Walking Through Life, because it's just toodles until the next time.
Toodles.
Toodles. I don't know why that came to my brain, but that's what I said. I decided I was going to say toodles. I don't know where it came from. Do you? No, we don't know. It just sort of popped in there. We'll see you next time.
Do they give you a high sign when you're getting to the
Walking through this life of mine, well, it's teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.